So I have to just say that being a special needs mom for me showed me how God wants us to love. My daughter taught me how to love with my whole heart.
Hello and good afternoon. Hello and welcome to Special Moms Africa, the podcast. And this is Real Talk on special needs parenting. My name is Yamisi Fajimolu Taiwo, and I'm your lead host on today's episode. I also have here with me some very amazing ladies, I have to say. If you're just joining us for the first time, over to my extreme left, we have Bukola Ayinde.
Hello.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Great to be here.
And to my immediate left, we have Tonya Falugi.
That's right.
And to my right here is the very beautiful, the sensual Obafi Kemi Luther. Hi.
Hello.
How are you? Okay, and just a quick note to our regular listeners. We may sound a little bit different today because we are coming from the African Next podcast stage, to which we're very honored to be on, but we'll speak more on that a little bit later. Now, just let's get started. First of all, we're just going to get to know our hosts a little bit more, so they'll introduce themselves and they will tell you a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit, because we can all go on about their stories, okay? So let's start off with Bukola Ayinde.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Well, dear listeners, once again, my name is Bukola Ayinde, and I'm the founder of Diary of a Special Needs Mom initiative under P413 Foundation. I started this foundation, as a fallout of being a mom with a beautiful girl living with cerebral palsy. 9 years ago, my world as I knew it changed, and I had to navigate the special needs journey in Nigeria, Africa. And if you're aware about the disability sector or community in Africa, especially Nigeria, it's like walking in a maze blindfolded. That's the way I always say it. But having been able to successfully, even though it wasn't a walk in the park, to find my own path, to find my own place, taking care of my daughter and being able to annex her talent. Right now she's thriving. I'm working at, encouraging other moms who are walking this path with me to understand that in spite of having challenges, in spite of being a parent of a child with special needs, in spite of living with your fears on a daily basis, as in facing your fears on a daily basis, you can still live a successful life. You can still live a fulfilled life. And because of that, I have partnered with these amazing moms to share our stories, to encourage not just other moms like us, but to tell the world that our children exist and they also have the right to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bukola. That was lovely. All right, Tony, over to you.
Yes. So my name is Tonya Falugi Ekezie, and my special needs journey began with the birth of my second child, Simone. She has an older brother, Ugo, and it didn't happen at birth. Actually, she got diagnosed with Down syndrome at 4.5 months. And she was diagnosed here. It was missed in the US. It was missed in the UK because she wasn't obviously Downsy. Even today, she's not so obvious that she has Down syndrome. But at 4.5 months, nevertheless, we got the diagnosis. And it was hard, but it wasn't really the diagnosis that was the hardest. The hardest diagnosis was, for us, the heart failure diagnosis. So 40 to 60% of babies with Down syndrome have some CHD, congenital heart defects. And usually it's minor, can be fixed with some medicine. Some need minor surgery, but ours was the worst it could possibly be. And she was given six months to live. And that kind of really changed our lives. We had to kind of abandon everything, leave everything, and get her to the United States to have life-saving surgery. She didn't recover as expected, and it took almost 2.5 years for her to recover. But she recovered and came out amazingly strong. She's our Agbero fine girl.
Agbero.
Yes, she is literally an oxymoron, a fine girl, feminine woman, and an Agbero at the same time. But my children are literally, just like I'm sure every mom on this platform shared with me, are the inspiration. And because of them, I started a book series called Ugo and Sim Sim, which is also an animation. We have a YouTube page, and it's the first of its kind worldwide to feature a Black main character with Down syndrome. And we also have a platform called Simone's Oasis, where we say we're empowering the African child through entertainment. So through the special needs journey, I've actually been able to find my voice. I'm actually be able to speak in front of people. And our message with Special Moms Africa is to really just say, even if you don't have a special needs child, those lemons that life gives you are actually those things that will change your life for the better. If you don't turn away from them and if you face them, you will be amazed at the work God will do in your life and change you and put you on a path that you are really meant to be on.
Woo!
Wow.
Amazing.
Deep, I know.
Very deep. All right. My name is Yemisi Fajimalu Taiwo, and I have 2 boys. And my first child has Down syndrome, and his name is Alex. And if he was here, he's very
lively.
Oh my goodness. So he's very strong. Let me put it that way. When Alex was born, everything seemed to be okay. I'm sorry.
Every time.
I'm very emotional. I'm very sorry. I'm very, very emotional. Anyway, let me just try and push through. So anyway, a week into, just going into the hospital, doing your 1-week checkup to check up. Oh, okay. What vaccinations do we need? Where do we go? What do we do? The doctor starts, is picking him up and putting him down and picking him up and putting him down. And I'm like, what's wrong? Is anything the matter? And he says to me, he goes, I think he might have Down syndrome. So that sort of news comes at you and you're just like, and I remember when I was in the hospital, I was just smiling the whole time and my mom was sitting next to me. And so it was one of those things where the doctor was like, because usually Down syndrome babies, they have very low tone with their muscles. They're not able to control their muscles. My boy was, doing literally bicep curls and everything and stuff like that. But so the doctor was very confused and I had to go and get a second opinion from another doctor who basically, here's what I did. I went into the doctor's office and they did his vitals because I said, I'm coming to get, this was like maybe he's 6 weeks old at this period of time. And he's coming to get his 6-week vaccination. So when, of course, the nurse does his vitals, and then when the doctor comes in, I'm holding Alex, but Alex is facing me. She looks through everything on his chart and she goes, oh, everything here seems great. Everything's fine. He's adding weight the way he's supposed to. And then she goes, hand him to me. And I turn him around and I hand him to her. And she's like, did your doctor say anything to you? And I was like what? Did your doctor say anything to you? And I was like what? So we kept going back and forth. Did your doctor say anything to you? And I kept saying like what? Because I wanted it to come from her mouth. In my mind, I thought to myself, I'm going to find a cure. There's something that we need to be able to do, that sort of thing. So we did that for a little bit. Anyway, she turned around. She said to me, she goes, your son has Down syndrome. We need to do this test, this test, this test, this test, to which I almost sort of like bolted out to there. And I was like, no, I didn't want to come to terms with it. It took me a while, I'd say about 5 weeks or so to come to terms with it, to be in denial. I didn't discuss it with my husband. It was a secret. It was a secret between my mom and I. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And it took me a while. I came to terms with it. But the great thing now is that he's thriving. He's very, very strong. So one of the reasons why I'm on this panel is because of this amazing woman here, Tonya. And she's very forceful. She will force you to do things that you really don't want to do. She'll just make you do
Even
it.
if you cry, I'll still force you.
That's your business, basically. And I'm very thankful to you for that, because this is the way I get when I'm talking about my son. It is not something to be ashamed of. It is not something to cower and be scared about discussing it. It is something to say, I have a child who has special needs. And Why am I crying? I don't even understand.
Because you're human.
I have a child who has special needs, and you come and take the picture at this very time, really? Okay, so I have a child who has special needs, but it is a blessing, right? Blessings come in different disguises. He has helped me to be stronger. He's helped me to be more patient. He has helped me to believe in the impossible, because when you first hear about a child with a special needs diagnosis, you believe that a lot of things aren't possible, but he has shown me how many things are possible, how to continue to just strive through life and to just be an advocate, which is what I am now for the special needs community and for my son, of course.
Before Obafemi Kemi comes in, because I'm skeptical of you, before another person starts crying, those who are not used to this podcast, let me just put this disclaimer. We didn't put this disclaimer.
All the time.
Nearly, let's probably say about 99% of the episodes, somebody cries. And it's not cries of sadness. It's a very cathartic, therapeutic podcast. Listeners tell us they listen to us and cry. We ourselves are talking and crying. So it just shows how open we're willing to be and how open generally people should be to this conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that just helps me because I'm not going to cry anymore.
No more tears.
No more tears. My name is Obafemi Kemi Luther, and it's Obafemi Kemi, the full name. No Fei Kemi, nothing. Obafemi Kemi. I am the mother of 3 uniquely manifested children.
Ew.
And the reason why I
love
say
that.
3 uniquely manifested children is because the devil was trying to try me. I was told that I wasn't going to have any children, and that I shouldn't have children because they were all going to be, deformed, right? But God is wonderful. So by the time that I got this horrible news, I was already 4 months pregnant with my first son. Before then, I had already lost 10 children. I just kept having miscarriages after miscarriage. I had my first son. He was amazing, beautiful, the best baby ever. And literally from not having any children, 6 months later, I get pregnant with my second child. And my second child is my child who has special needs. Her name is Onye Kamara Chukwu. Yes, Kamara. And she's our only daughter. And she has autism, global delayed development, speech apraxia, and ADHD. And I remember when I was pregnant with Kamara, basically around 24 weeks, I woke up and I was bleeding. My uterus had collapsed on top of her. But, some things happen that that no matter what's supposed to happen, a child wants to come into the world. So even though all these things happened, we got to the hospital and my doctor said to me that if he hadn't been the one to do the scan to see the uterus on her, he would have said that I was lying. It was like if God had extra specially cocooned her again in the womb, and we were able to go throughout the full pregnancy. All my children are born at 37 weeks because of my condition. I have something called a chromosomal displacement, which means my chromosomes have changed places. Translocation, right? So hence why I was having the miscarriages. Kamara is... Okay. No.
I said it.
So Kamara is like the most beautiful child. She's she loves music, she loves to dance, she loves to sing. And just like Missy was saying, if you see her, you won't know that she has special needs. Thank you.
There you go.
And I think it's a...
Just breathe.
I think it's people. I think having people around.
So, autism is a hidden disability. Unlike the Down syndrome diagnosis, which is very, clear. You can recognize someone who has Down syndrome. Or with Nimi, you can see that she has CP, cerebral palsy. With Kamara and most autistic people, it's a hidden disability, which in a sense, actually kind of makes it a little harder because people will just say, what's wrong with that child? Why don't you just, can't you deal with the
Why
child?
is he behaving like that?
Exactly.
Control your child, my
Control
friend.
your child, not knowing that child actually has additional needs, special needs.
And I think one of the things that we don't realize is that Nigeria, for me, has actually been, funny enough, I fight with Nigeria all the time, but Nigerians have actually been kinder to us as a family, meaning that once you tell people that your child has a disability, once you educate them, people will they'll bend over backwards to help you. Meanwhile, I think in the Western world, they're so used to it that it's become sort of normal. So you still have to face other issues, like we face racism. We lived in England for a while, and there have been so many things, but I have to just say that being a special needs mom for me showed me how God wants us to love. My daughter taught me how to love with my whole heart and how God loves us. So I think that special needs children are a gift to show us unconditional love, and love that has no boundaries, or love that doesn't, they don't lie. They don't lie. So if you want to know if you're not looking good, if you want to know if you're beautiful, that special needs child is going to tell you. So for me, my daughter taught me God's love, and I fought with God for a very long. In fact, I think God and I are still fighting.
No, you're not.
But my daughter has really taught us. So yeah, that's it. And that's me, Obafeyi Kemi Luther.
Thank you.
And she doesn't answer to anything else, by the way. Okay, so thank you all very much. These are all the ladies on the panel today, and you've heard a little bit about our stories. But just to go back to what we're here to discuss today, our focus will be on how social media has helped and hindered the special needs parenting journey. Okay, as a special needs parent, I will say this just off the top of my head. Social media has done an amazing amount to bring together the community, to communicate and to actually experience, or just to see what other parents are experiencing and what they're going through, just to know that we're not alone. So to start off with, we want to start off with how can social media help the special needs parenting journey?
Okay, so let me build the cat.
Of course.
Let me go first. Yeah, so in 2017, before then, I'd started my special needs parenting way before then, and I have been navigating the journey one day at a time. However, when I started, I wanted someone to read a book about someone who had gone through my journey, to know that I was not alone. Yeah. And the truth is that I really didn't find. I got a book written by a Nigerian. The person didn't have a child with cerebral palsy. Thereafter, I saw a small book, about a woman who, traveled to a place called Peto Institute in Budapest, Hungary. So I read the book. I went to Hungary for the first time. I came back. I think that was 2014. Then 2017, I went again. And this time around, I decided to document my story and my journey, and decided to do it on Facebook. So I started writing my everyday journey as a special needs mom. Because when I started my journey, I didn't see children like my child in church, in schools, in the supermarkets. So I was angry with God that these children don't exist. So how come that you gave me, out of maybe 1 billion people, it was me? What sin did I commit? Because I felt, that it was just a minute number of unfortunate people that have children with special needs.
But when you go on social media, you find a different story. So
when I started sharing my story, Toyin, on social media, women from different economic status, different colors, different tribes, different locations, both Nigerian and outside Nigeria, came to meet me behind the scenes in my DMs to say, oh, I have this same situation. Oh, I have this same situation. And with that, I realized that I was not alone. That's the first thing. There are so many people hiding their children at home, but nobody was bold enough to come out and say, hey, special needs children exist. Special needs children are here.
When you think about, okay, so now I'm actually processing this for the first time, which is really weird to do it here, is that when you think about the number of Nigerian parents who have special needs children, and then you transfer that to how many you see communicating that on social media, it's very few.
It's next to none.
Because when I think about the communities I follow or the people that DM me and that we see, there are very few Africans.
Can I jump in?
Not just Nigerian. We're discussing now. We discuss.
One of the things that I remember is the first time I posted Alex on my Instagram page. We were swimming and I posted him up and then I put my sunglasses on him. My cousin-in-law went and had a conversation with my mother-in-law to be like, she's not hiding him.
Yeah.
And my comment, when my mother-in-law repeated that statement to me, I was like, why do I hide my child?
Yeah.
Why would
Because
I
that's
hide
the African
my child?
thing to do.
But unfortunately, that's not my thing. I have a child, a beautiful child for that matter, and he's very good looking, I have to say. I'm trying to turn him into a model. Okay, so I post him up because we're swimming, how everybody likes to post their things up about their children. And my response was, she's not hiding it. So
I think one of the things that for me, like Bukola, I started a page called Kamara's Talks a couple of years ago on Instagram. And I remember the first time when I started it, my ex-husband at the time was like, why are you putting her up? What is all this about? But for me, it was really difficult because I was like too pronged. It looked like I had accepted her diagnosis, but really that was just my own way of, if I don't hide her, then it will make it easier. And I remember the amount of women, just like you said, who would send me messages, people that would be like, oh, my sister has autism, or because I showed you. There's one particular story that really stood out to me. A friend of mine, her brother is 30. And she said that it was until she showed her mom a video of my daughter, Kamara, that her mom broke down. And I think that year they were able to take their brother to America. But before then, they used to hide him from society. And he was 30. And I thought to myself, just like everyone else, I have never seen a child. I actually did not know anything about autism until I had a child. And I remember we did a GoFundMe for Kamara. I got some of the most painful, I got phone calls from people telling me that, how could somebody from a family like mine come out to disgrace their family, to embarrass their family? Why was I being... So it was such a big thing. But then I also had a lot of people who donated, who, supported us. So it just showed that I wasn't mad. I wasn't the only one, but that there were many people who were just keeping their children out of, but social media truly was I think Kamara can go out now to many places that many people know her because of that, but social media was a healer for me.
It's that community, right? So we might not find that community in the physical world.
Yes.
But you're able to gain that. I literally made friends with people I don't know in real life from all over the world.
Yeah.
Like Japan, Mexico, Hawaii, Japan, yes. I'm not going to Japan, but Japan. But there is that feeling, okay, really, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of community that's there.
And then the information.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So what do you feel, how has it helped your access to resources?
So I think one of the things, like global development delay, first of all, so it's,
so what's global development delay?
Okay, so global development delay is, I think for me, it's like an overall. So I represent the mommy that's still discovering things. These are my champions.
No, discovery.
No, but me, I'm still kind of like, my head is inside the sand. I'm like, oh boy, this journey is much. These guys are like super egos. Me, I admit, I cannot do it. I don't want to do it. My head is spinning me, but I love her. So we are just going to manage and continue life like she's just a normal child. And that's what I do. But I found that the information for global development delay, which I had no idea what it was, is a child who is basically behind in their developmental milestones.
Yeah.
And I found a Facebook page with parents with global development delay. And you know when you have that moment of, oh my God, my baby does this. Oh, yes, like me too. And, I got so much information on how to hold her, the kinds of things that I should do, what I should give her. It was just so amazing. And, this was Facebook. I was really big on Facebook before Instagram stole my heart. But Facebook was a treasure trove of information. Yeah. So, yeah, it was great.
Okay.
Bukola, any info? Why are you looking like that? Because you are the PhD of this panel. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Okay, so still on resources. For me, I never knew there were support groups in Nigeria. To my amazement, on Facebook, I realized that we had, big support groups for autism, for cerebral palsy, for spinal bifida, different, things happening that people don't even know. Because when I started my journey, I felt I was the only one. That's always the feeling like, why has God abandoned me? Why is my own like this? Because you just feel that these things don't exist. So when you begin to realize that it exists, first of all, you calm down. It's like therapeutic. Oh, so I'm not even alone. So it's not just me. So this thing happens. So it's the medical condition. It's not a spiritual attack. Okay, now, what then can we do? It helps you. It gives you confidence. It gives you reassurance that, okay, I don't have a personal, unique, genuine problem that I picked up along the way. Then you begin to realize, okay, what else can I do? So social media has done that for me. And I've also gone ahead to replicate these communities by, helping other mothers who don't have access to a lot of information or, how do I put it, skills to enable them to care for their children and care for themselves. Because in Africa, we are here because we're a bit privileged. Mm-hmm. There are women who are not privileged to all the things we know. We're able to do research. Some of them can't do research. And everything that affects us still affects them, plus cost of living in Nigeria. So we also, in our own way, are also helping moms, to navigate this journey. And that has been possible through social media. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us here today. So first of all, we just like to say a big thank you to my co-host here today, Bukola Ayinde, Tonya Falugi, Ekeze, and Obafemi Luther. You have to say her name like that. My name is Yemisi Fajimolu Taiwo. We are Special Moms Africa. And please follow us on social media. This is actually our last episode. So please look out for all our previous episodes on Africa Business Radio, the app, or wherever you get your podcast from. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. You know what to do. Okay? And thank you very, very, very much for listening to us. And again, listen to your episodes, cry, share, and hug one another, and please be kind to each other.
Thank you so much to Africa Next for having us.
I'm Toye Falugi Ekezie. If you're enjoying this episode of Special Moms Africa, brought to you by Simone's Oasis and Africa Business Radio, then why not listen to our other podcast, Represented, Storybooks and More for African Kids. Now, don't forget to subscribe, put on your notifications, and share with loads of people out there. Thanks for listening.